Hi, this is Paul Arnold here. I'm known as Stuttering Professor and I'm a trained psychologist and also a coach. And today I want to talk to you about energy. And energy is everything, it's our fundamental life force. And if we have bundles of energy, it says so much about who we are. And it influences, it creates our presence, it inspires, but also gives us the resilience to push on through and to make things happen. And the reality is that the people who've got horsepower are the people who change the world. And I want to talk today about how to manage the energy, because it's very fragile. And there are sort of things that actually drain our energy away from us and things that put energy into us. And energy is contagious. It's a bit like, J.K. Rowling's Dementors, which like suck all the energy out of us. And one of the things you've all probably been taught about is about like be radiators rather than be drains. So I want to talk about some of the different ways that you can actually manage your energy level. And I want to first talk about what are some of those drains that are pulling it away from you. Well, one of the biggest drains we have is our relationships. And the most important one is the relationship we have in ourselves. So many people are destroying themselves because they don't have a strong enough sense of who they are and pride of who they are. And there's another video I'm going to be posting quite soon which talks a lot about building self-confidence and self-belief. But actually it's our relationship with other people, and so many people are struggling with other people, with relationships with others, that sort of gets in the way, and that takes away their energy they have from other things. Then as such, we then have the energy we lose from actually fear. And I remember being taught by this amazing, inspirational person called Dr. Bart Sale, who runs a company called the Breakthrough Company. And he talked about two types of fear. We've got fear, F-E-A-R, which basically says, well, fuck everything and run. The principle that if you've got a charging tiger coming towards you, that's real primitive fear. Get out of the way because your life is seriously in danger. But we have the second type of fear, which is false expectations appearing real. And that is when we live in a place of of belief that something's going to happen, which very often doesn't happen. And that's really holding us back. And if we live in that place of fear, we don't have energy to get on with things. Look, some people are just not blessed with great health, but there are lots of things we can do to manage a lot of the health that we have. And certainly this leads into fitness. If you're unfit, then half your energy is going to just actually making you move around. So not too surprising, you don't have a lot of energy left for other things. And sleep, if people are not having enough sleep, that's also getting in the way. And then we have all the poisons we put inside our body, often in trying to counter and to give us energy. So we drink too much, we eat too much, particularly fatty foods, maybe take drugs and things like that. So all those things are really not helping, they're poisoning our body. And one of the other big ones, which again, there's the most amazing guy called Lawrence Mitchell, a company Raw in Australia, well worth looking him up. He talks about the energy drains we get out of finances, that really gets in the way of our lives. So actually, when you look at all those things, we have real major energy drains in our lives. But actually, when you look at work as well, work is another major one. And so many people are living in a place where, they've got bad management, there's politics at play, they're overstressed, they're being demanded to do far too much stuff, there's criticism, there's blame, the whole atmosphere is toxic, and not surprisingly, that also drains our energy. So now let's talk about some of the ways that we can get energy sources from. And again, one of the most powerful ones is from relationships. We get fueled by people who support us and want us to do the best. And we need to surround ourselves with those people and try to move away from the people who are the naysayers, the criticizers of us, because they're not really helping us. And likewise, one of the big things we'll do is work upon the energy we can get from our own relationship with ourselves and forgiving ourselves and accepting our shadow part of us. And one of the big problems with the relationships is this idea about forgiveness, about letting go of stuff. And I always joke that I've been married for 33 years, you know, and I always say it's down to 6 words. It's like, I'm sorry, darling, it's all my fault. Now, it's a joke, but still within the heart of that, this idea of recognizing that sometimes we don't always do it as well as we could do. And in many ways, it takes the whole shoulder of blame and holding stuff on if we can let go of that. And it's a very powerful place, because once you've dealt with that and you've admitted you made a mistake and there's forgiveness has come about, then you can move on. Otherwise, you're forever trapped with that moment in time. And so many people are trapped in moments in time. The other big one is about purpose, about having something in our lives which is meaningful and we're doing something. And sadly, many people don't have that within their workplace. And if we're misaligned, if we're doing something that we don't feel is really serving us, we're in a place of imbalance. And imbalance is going to be putting us off and not giving us the energy we want. Whilst if you're working in a place that is absolutely aligned with where you want to go to, then boy, you are going to unleash a lot of energy around you. And then likewise, passion. We need to have passion in our lives, and be it passion for a sport. You know, I love rowing. You know, that's my passion. And I love learning as well. So it could be a hobby as well. I don't mind what it is, but find passion. You see people who've got dull eyes. There's nothing behind them. And you need to have that glint in the eye, that love of life. And then we then also have this idea that, you know, we've got to actually have, you know, fitness and health about us. So, you know, we've all been to the gym and like, we go there feeling knackered, we come away feeling that, but we feel more energized afterwards. And I find that doing exercise is a very powerful way of dealing with the stress and getting rid of all those toxins that build up in your body, you know, from the day-to-day stuff of life. And clearly sleep is another very powerful way that we can help to actually settle ourselves and give us the energy we need to go forth and make great things happen. So there's a quick run through. Now, I sort of run a company with a very good friend of mine called We Ignite. And one of the things that we do is that we go into organizations and we help build the energy in their people, their teams, their organizations by spotting what's getting in the way and helping to give them some very useful tips about how to go about it. If that's of use for you, then by all means, please contact us. Anyway, I hope that's of use, and go out there and just be amazing. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.